Yo, what's good YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to drift in VDC CompCenter ACS drift. Now this is the drift cars they consider very hard to drift in. So let me go ahead and tune my gear. I know last time when I drifted in this car, I was drifting in 4th gear, and my 4th gear was a little too high. I think I had it around 137. We'll tweak it around there. So remember, I'm gonna be showing you how to drift. Now I'm not too used to drifting in VDC, but it's the same concept, honestly. So when it comes to these cars, usually I'm teaching you in the VDC so you can smash the throttle. When I teach you about throttle control, I teach you to only use 80% of your throttle. You don't need 100%, and always at least maintain at least 20%. So never fully let off. Try to always tap and squeeze and come back, and always drift in the highest gear possible. So for VDC, I'm usually drifting in 3rd gear. For these cars, I'm noticing that 4th gear is where I like it at. Now, it always depends on what you like it at, but drift in the highest gear possible, and the gears will be smoother. Make sure your turbo is turned up, or just check on your turbo. And let's get into the step number 1. Step number 1 is throttle control. So with VDC cars, throttle control is super important. So much power in 4th. So I want to drop the power a little bit so I don't feel like it's just beating me down. And there you go. I'm touching the wall. Transitions. Throttle. You got to be very careful with the throttle in these cars, and the transitions in these cars are ridiculous because it's got that. It's so powerful that those momentum snaps are just like quick. They're so fast. Like if you don't time that transition right in these VDC cars, oh my goodness, you'll be in for trouble. And I let go of the throttle for just a teeny second, and I just lost all power. So that goes to show you really don't want to let off the throttle. Always want to be squeezing and tapping. I let go of the throttle for 2 seconds, and my power was just dead. Now obviously I didn't clutch kick either. So I wasn't expecting my power to die out like that. All right, back in on the wall for the most part. Yep, throttle control, good throttle. Got to be careful on those clutch kicks with these cars. Super high power. Throttle control matters so much in these cars, and I like it because it makes the cars feel so realistic. And I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to, a lot of people say these are so hard. These are so hard. I barely drift in this. This is my 2nd day drifting in this map, and basically 2nd day drifting in VDC cars. Period. These are very similar to BDC, DWG. They're just, only difference I would say is they're super high horsepower, meaning you need to really watch your throttle control. That's it. They drift the same as BDC cars. So it's the same concept, guys, that I teach you in all my other videos. And I'm also going to make videos about different maps in VDC, different cars in VDC. So if you enjoy drifting tutorials, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, we can obviously I can add you up on Discord. We can have a phone conversation. I'll help you. Have no problem with that. But let's go ahead and continue to show you. So what I was showing you there was throttle control. So make sure you work on your throttle. What you don't want to do is, you don't want to just over throttle. So I'm just going to over throttle hard. In VDC car, that is just not a good idea. I'm already going for the wall. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing I could do about it because I was just so busy hitting the throttle. And I know that's what a lot of you guys do. A lot of you guys are so busy hitting the throttle. And another thing you guys do is you guys drift in a very low gear. Drift in the highest gear possible. So for VDC, 3rd gear is probably not going to be your friend. It's probably going to be 4th gear. And then for like BDC, 2nd gear is probably not going to be your friend. It's probably going to be 3rd gear. So just drift in the highest gear possible. You get your drifts are smoother. They're easy to turn. The car won't work as properly. If your car sounds like and it sounds like the engine's about to explode, try to crank it up a gear. It should sound smooth. All right, throttle control. I'm just tapping. You hear me letting it go. Okay, that was perfect throttle control right there. Perfect throttle control. Perfect. Now these are supposed to be the virtual drift competition cars. So these are supposed to be the harder cars. They're definitely fun, and I enjoy them. A lot of people are scared of these cars, but I say get out here and go have some fun, man. They're super easy. They're super fun. Get loose and have fun. Now I'm going to be showing you the 2nd step. You see how important throttle control is and how I'm just squeezing it. And I kind of hold it when I want to maintain the drift a little bit. But you definitely got to work on that throttle control. Always at least 80% of pressure Try to never fully 100% pressure it, and try to never fully let off. Try to always keep squeezing at least 20%. Try to always keep pressure on it. All right, now let's get into the second technique. All right, the second technique I want to show you, as always. So we go from throttle, and then we have to go to steering. So what I want to show you on the steering is basically, what you don't want to do is you don't want to fight the steering wheel. You want to honestly think about it like karate. Just let the wheel flow, let the car do its thing. So what you don't want to do is oversteer. You don't want to. I'll give you an example of what not to do. So watch this. Watch what happens. This is what not to do. I'm gonna oversteer, and watch how we just turn out. Oversteer. Complete oversteer. Like, it doesn't work. So what I want to show you is you barely have to whip the car. So you're gonna see me slightly whip it to the right and watch the car basically do the rest of the work. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna basically catch it and counter steer it. So watch this. I'm about to turn to the left, drift to the left, and watch how I barely even turn my wheel, and watch how this car will basically just do it on its own. Watch this. So I'm gonna turn my wheel a little bit to the left and just let it go. I feel like that wasn't a good turn to show you, honestly. Hold on. Let me show you another turn. These cars are so high powered. Let me show you this turn right here. All right, a little bit to the right, and I just let it go. You see how it just does the work for itself? You don't have to just completely just oversteer it. So watch this. Just a little bit to the right and just let it go. It just does its job. And then once you get the momentum, it just does the rest for you. Then you just catch it, counter steer it, hold it, let it go. Catch it, counter steer it. All right, now watch this. I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna turn to my left. I'm gonna slightly turn. I'm just gonna and just let go. All right, let's do it again. I'm gonna go over to turn to the right, and I'm gonna let go. And I just let go. Simple. I'm not doing this what a lot of people do. A lot of people come in here and just do this. They just oversteer way too hard. That's too hard. That's way too hard, folks. You barely need to do it, and that is fighting the steering wheel. Do not fight the steering wheel. And another thing is, when it comes to steering, let's see, when it comes to steering, on the transitions, I know you want to just let that thing slide off your hand on transition. So look, we're about to transition, let it go, and I just catch and counter steer. All right, let's wait for another transition. Transition's coming right here to my left, let go, and I just counter steer. Transition to my right, let go, and I just counter, and I catch it where I want to catch it at. All right, boom, catch it. So you catch the steering wheel where you want to catch the steering wheel at, but it doesn't. So I'm going to drift to my right. Watch, I'm barely going to turn it. Oh, well, this car's just so high powered, and I got it in 4th gear, so. But you get the picture. You don't need to turn it too hard, and you don't need to fight the steering wheel. Just wax on, wax off. So let's go ahead and show you what it looks like with throttle control. So don't be smashing the throttle and steering. Let's go ahead and put these two together so you can see. And like I said, if you have any questions, man, you can add me on Discord. We can have a phone conversation. I can go over these one-on-one. Have no issue helping. All right, so what you want to do is, all right, I'm going to turn in very, very quickly, easy, let it go. Now I'm just counter steering, throttle control. Throttle control, you see me squeezing throttle, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You can probably even hear my little squeaky throttle. Got to put some WD-40 on that thing. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Turn. Oh, yeah. Letting that thing fly in my hand. About to transition to the right, let go. And I just catch it. And let that thing go, just catch it. And also, when it comes to the transitions, you want to let off your throttle a teeny bit. So slightly less throttle on the transition. So when you transition and you want to let go. So transition, I'll show you. You want to let go of the throttle and transition a teeny bit. So we're about to transition to the left, watch this. I'll have to wait, let me get in motion. All right, now we're in motion, about to transition to the right, watch. I'll let go. Transition to the left, watch this. I'll let go. Transition to the right, watch this. I'm gonna let go. Let go. Just a slightly less gas on transitions. I'll show you what happens if I showed you about the no gas. I'm gonna do a transition with all gas, and I showed y'all what happens when you do this all gas. You're going to spin out no matter what you do. In real life, if it's wet, the more spinning of the tires is gonna cause you to spin out. So if you're spinning out, less throttle. You're doing too much. If you're spinning out, automatically way too much throttle. That's the first step. And if it's not too much throttle, then it's steering. So let's just straight gas it on transitions so I can show you what happens when you just straight gas it on transitions. Let me show you. That was a very nice entry, folks. All right, I'm gonna just gas it on the transition right here, not letting go. Oh man, that was horrible. That was horrible, folks. Do slightly less gas on the transition, please. All right, now let's go on to step 3. So we have this thing called a clutch. If you don't have a clutch, maybe skip or go ahead and learn about it. If you don't, and in mind thinking, I don't know, if you don't have a clutch, whatever. But if you do have a clutch, it's for you. All right, so as you can see, the blue right here is the clutch, and green is the throttle. So as you can see, I'm holding the clutch, and I'm holding the throttle. I'm gonna let go of the clutch right now, and that is what you call a clutch kick. That is a clutch kick, basically. Now the clutch will also do a numerous of things. So it'll also drop your RPM. So it's like a mini brake. And let's say it dropped my RPMs, I'm gonna hit the gas. That's a clutch kick. So it's a very cool thing because it can slow you down if you're going too far on the outside. It can, if you got too much RPMs, you're going too wide, it can slow you down a teeny bit. If you're tandeming with somebody and you're getting a little too close to the vehicle, you can kind of slow down a little bit, and you can clutch kick back out of it, and you can use it to clutch kick. So once you get the hang of your clutch can save you from a lot of bad drifts, can save you from a lot of bad techniques. The clutch is definitely an OP when it comes to drifting. If you lose your RPMs, you can just clutch kick to get it right back. So sometimes I might lose my RPMs, but I need to clutch kick to get that gear back. Oh yeah, drifting in VDC, virtual drift comp. I need to go do some virtual drift comp. I'm fairly new to this too. It's still just the same concept. So if I'm this good at VDC off rip, I can only imagine. And this is my second time playing this track. I just figured out about this track last night, so I can only imagine what Tom would do with practice. All right, and there you go, folks. I'm using the clutch, and you really don't use the handbrake too much. The handbrake is just for emergencies, and it's really hard. I can use the handbrake, but a handbrake just helps you create angles, I guess, if you lost your angle. But handbrakes are really for mess ups. They're like, that's why they're called emergency brakes. They're for emergencies. They're for mess ups. They're not for helping you drift. They're for correcting a bad drift. So technically, if you are starting off with a handbrake, it could teach you bad drifting habits and not teach you how to drift the proper way without needing a handbrake. But either which way, once you learn how to fully drift, you definitely won't need the handbrake anymore. Now, as you can see, I drifted in 3rd gear right there, and I normally drift in 4th with these cars. So just play around, have fun. Seems like 3rd gear might even been smoother for me. Had to use the clutch because I was going too close to the wall, so I wanted to slow down a little bit. And I also want to clutch kick back out of it because I want those RPMs. So I did use my clutch to stop myself from hitting that wall. I know a lot of people don't know that you can use the clutch as a mini brake, but you can. So hope you learned something new. Hope you learned to not drift in the lowest gear possible. Drift in the highest gear possible, folks. Hope you learned that. Maintain throttle control. Don't just go crazy with throttle. Have some discipline when it comes to your throttle control. Have some discipline when it comes to your steering. And also, another tip, guys. Practice these techniques for 30 minutes a day for at least 7 days a week. Now, let's be honest. There's for a fact that you're doing nothing for 30 minutes. You're probably scrolling on your phone. It takes nothing to come practice something for 30 minutes a day. If you really want to become a drifter, use these techniques for 30 minutes a day for 7 days, and you will know how to drift VDC cars, no problem. And not just VDC cars, BDC, DWG, Gravy Garage, whatever you need to do. Gravy Garage V.2, whatever cars you need to drift, you can drift them using these techniques. I'm pretty sure they're not the only server who has this map, but definitely not the best entry. Definitely not the best entry when it comes to riding those walls. That's a throttle control issue. I'm just trying to show you guys what what it's like to come in here and drift these maps. VDC CompCenter. They got over 1,000 drift maps. I can't wait to show you guys each map in particular. Show you how to ride the map. Show you how to get used to the map and learn some new maps myself and get better myself. Let's get better together. Who knows, man? Might see you on the real track one day. Might see you on that real track one day, because I'll be out there one day. One day I'll be on that real track, boys. Best believe it. Laying down law. I don't care. 50-man competition. $100,000 on the line. I don't care. I'm in there not giving a damn. Lose, I don't care. I'll be back. No fear. So just know, listen. If this video helped you guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.